Hello friend, in last lectures we have studied about the stress strain diagram for ductile material as well as for brittle materials and its different properties which we can observe from the stress strain diagram. In addition that we have also studied elastic modulus like modulus of elasticity capital E, modulus of rigidity C or G, and bulk modulus K, and relation between them also, that is E is equal to thrice K 1 minus twice mu, whereas capital E is equal to modulus of elasticity, K is equal to bulk modulus, and mu is equal to Poisson's ratio. Similarly, relations between modulus of elasticity and modulus of rigidity and Poisson's ratio, that is E is equal to twice C or G in bracket 1 plus mu. Now, in today's lectures, we are going to see the stresses and strain induced in the determinant and indeterminate structure. Now, come to the points. In today's lectures, we are going to discuss about the determinant and indeterminate structure, homogeneous and composite bar and loading, thermal stresses in the plane and composite members. After these lectures, you should be able to understand the concept of stress and strain in the determinant and indeterminate beam. You should understand the deformation in homogeneous and composite bar. Understand the concept of thermal stresses and its calculations in the plane and composite members subjected to thermal loading. Now, first point is stress and strain in determinant and indeterminate beam. In statistically indeterminate structures, the equations for static equilibrium are not sufficient for determining the reactions and internal forces. Now, if we say here in previous determinant structures, to calculate the stress and change in length or elongations, there are only one equation each for stress as well as for deformations. With the help of that, we can calculate the stress induced in that respective sections and elongations in particular sections. But in indeterminate sections, here that for the static equilibrium are not sufficient for determining the reactions and internal forces. The structure in which the stresses can be obtained by forming two or more equations are called simple statistically indeterminate structure. The stresses in such a structure may be found out with the help of two or three compatible equations. While studying these indeterminate beams, we will study the first case when a force P is applied at one section only. Now here you may say this structure, a circular bar is given and this circular bar is fixed at the point A, at the point B, and force P is applied at the section C, that is P. So here there are two sections 1 and 2 if we say here. So in that case, you have studied in previous semesters or in engineering mechanics, when there is end supports are there, so there is some reactions. So we may say RA is the reactions which is acting at point A, here that is RA, in that side that is RB. Now in this structures, P force is applied on it. P is acting on in the tensile manner for the section AC, whereas P is acting in compressive manner for the section BC. Now ends are closed, so there is no chance to deform this bar from these end conditions. So in that case we may say that the increase in length due to the force P in section AC is equal to decrease in length in the section BC due to the force P. That's why according to this, change in length is equal to our basic equations we have seen in previously, PL upon AE, whereas P is equal to force, L is equal to length of the bar, A means area of cross sections of the bar, and E is the modulus of elasticity. So while calculating the increase in length in the section AC, so again we may say here PL upon AE. So here P we are going to consider, that is RA, cross sectional area A, AE, A is the cross sectional area of section AC, and E is the modulus of elasticity. Simultaneously there is a decrease in length in the section BC, which is shown by this RB into B. RB is the reactions, acts in the leftward side here. RB into these dimensions B divided by AE. So here we are seeing increase in length in the bar AC is equal to decrease in length in the bar BC. So we can equate that equations 1 and 2. Equating the equations 1 and 2. So area of cross sections for that beam remains same. Modulus of elasticity also same. So here we may say R1A is equal to R1B. So R1 is equal to RB into B upon A. So we may get the reaction in terms of RB here. Put the value of RB in another equations. You can calculate these reactions RA and RB acting at the end points, that is A and B. Now focus on the another points. Case number 2. In the case number 2, when force F1 and F2 applied at any two intermediate sections. Now see this figure. Here one circular bar is given. This bar is divided into three sections, L1, L2 and L3. Its end are fixed. F1 and F2, these two forces are acting in this intermediate sections. So here we give the names for our understanding. A, B, C and D. F1 is acting at point B, F2 is acting at point C. So the net deformation is equal to 0 because both the ends at point A and at point D are closed. So when the number of forces acts on that body, the deformations will be 0. So in that case we may say delta L1 for the section AB plus delta L2 for section BC, delta L3 for the section CD is equal to 0. Now for the equilibrium conditions we may assume that let P1 is the force, P1, P2 and P3 are the tensile forces acts on each part of the body, that section AB, another section BC and another third section is CD. So in that side, in the first sections AB, P1 force, we assume that P1 force is acting in tensile manner, tensilely. So at point B, F1 is equal to, now in that case F1 is equal to, we have written here P1 minus P2. So simultaneously consider the section BC. In that section BC, P2 force is also acting in the tensile manner. Now here F1 means it goes into right hand side directions. So in that case, if we say that P1 is acting, and if we have to calculate this value in terms of P2, so we may say that P1 should be greater than P1. So in that side, P1 minus P2, because we are assuming P1 will be greater than P2. So here we can write the equations P1 minus P2. At that time you will get here F1. When we consider the section C, so third point is at section CD, P3 tensile force is acting. In that case, again at point C, P3 will be greater than P2. So here we may write P3 minus P2. So here two equations we are getting in terms of P2. So when we will solve that two equations, at that time we can get the value of P1, P2 and P3 by using the computable equations. Okay. Now come to our next point, that is deformation of homogeneous bar under the concentrated loading. Now homogeneous means all these three sections, means A to B, B to C and C to D are made from on the same materials we are assuming here. So consider the bar made of the same material with different length and cross sectional area. In that side, the AB having different cross section area, BC having different cross section area and CD also having different cross sectional area and different length, that is L1, L2, L3 respectively. Whereas P tensile force, you may say axial load, is acting on it. So axial load for that three section remains same. So P is the force acting on the body. It is made from the same material, so modulus of elasticity for their three sections remains constant. Is it clear? Now, so delta L1 means change in length for the section 1. We may write the equations PL1 upon A1E. Previously we have seen such a type of numerical also. Delta L2 is equal to PL2 divided by A2E. For section 3, delta L3 is equal to PL3 divided by A3E. So, and total elongations, delta L is equal to delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. So put the value of here delta L1, PL1 upon A1E, PL2 upon A2E plus PL3 upon A3E. Now simplified that equations, or you may say rearrange that equations. P upon E we have taken common because P and E acting for three sections remains constant or same. L1 upon A1 plus L2 upon A2 plus L3 upon A3 plus dash dash. If number of sections will be there, we can increase that equation in the same line of action. Now here another is deformation of composite bar under the concentrated loading. First bar was homogeneous bar. Homogeneous means whole the bar made from same material. So modulus of elasticity for the bar remains same for every sections. That is first thing. Second thing, what is meant by composite bar? Composite bar means when there are two materials or more than one materials, then that bar we may say that is the composite bar. A bar made up of two or more different materials joined together is called a composite bar. The bars are joined in such a manner, in such a way that the system extends or contracts as a one unit equally when subjected to tension or compression. While solving the numerical of such a type of composite bar, we have to remember some points So first point is extension or contraction of the bar is equal. So we may say deformations per unit length may be equal or must be equal. So elongation due to the load acting on both the materials remains same. Second is total external load on the bar is equal to the sum of the load carried by different materials. If there are two bars and load is acting on that bar, so load carried by first bar plus load carried by second bar is equal to total load acting on the bar. These two conditions we have to remember while solving the numerical. Just we will see the simple example on it. So here two bars, one bar and another second bar. Both the bars are made from the different materials. One bar is, we may say, simple example, steel. Another bar we may say from the brass. Any two materials we may consider here, or that will be given in the numericals. And both the ends of that bar here fixed. Load P is acting at the center of the bar. In that case, the load carrying by the first bar, that is we may say P1, load carried by the second bar, that is P2. So total load P is equal to P1 plus P2. So in this way we may calculate the stress induced in each bar separately with the help of that load P1 and P2. So sigma 1 is the stress induced in the bar 1 is equal to P1 upon A1, whereas P1 is the load carried by bar number 1 divided by cross sectional area of the bar A1, and strain induced in that section is also sigma 1 upon E1, sigma 1 upon E1 according to our Hooke's law. So sigma means P1 upon A1, so that equations become P1 upon A1 E, A1 E. So delta L1 elongations epsilon 1 into L1. We are considering only bar number 1. So epsilon is sigma 1 L1 upon E1 is equal to, put the value of sigma 1 here from the previous equations, P1 L1 upon A1 E1, that is equation number 2. And now similarly we can apply all these systems or equations for the bar number 2, and according to that deformations or elongations of the bar 2 is equal to P2 L2 divided by A2 E2. Now in both the cases elongations or deformations due to the load P remains constant. So delta L1 is equal to delta L2. Delta L1 is equal to delta L2, and here we have taken that delta L1 is equal to delta L2, and delta L1 means P1 L1 upon A1E is equal to P2 L2 upon A2E. So we have to solve that equations. So we can calculate the load carried by each bar, that is P1, and load carried by bar 2, that is P2. Now deformation of bar due to the self weight we have already seen in the previous equation, previous slide. Now come to the points, our next, that is thermal or temperature stresses. Now we have seen deformation take place when the load acting on the body, load may be tensile manner or it might be compressive manner, but here stresses are induced due to the thermal or due to the temperatures. All of you know, when the temperature increases of the body deforms, it changes its size and shape. It changes its size and shape. So in that case we may say the stresses induced due to the temperature are known as temperature change are known as temperature stresses or thermal stresses. If you say here, thermal stresses are set up in a body when the temperature of body is raised or lowered. It means change in temperature, and the body is not allowed to expand or contract freely. Then the stresses induced in that body are known as thermal stresses. If we say the simple example here, this is the bar. In that case, both the ends we restricted. In another case, here this is the bar and both the ends are open. Here ends are open. Ends, here we may say ends closed. Here end open. End open. Now in that case, here if we applied the heat here, or we applied the heat in that sections, we supplied the heat, what happened? This bar deform. This bar deformation take place. The change in length will be there. But now in that case, another case, if we have supplied the heat or applied the heat, in that case, so it may expand, but there is no chance to expand this side, so that materials may bend in that manner. So due to that temperature here, temperature stresses are induced. Temperature stresses are induced. But in another case, here body is free to expand. So when body is free to expand or free to contract, so there is no chance to induce the temperature stresses. So there is no temperature stresses. So here we may say it is free end expansion. Here expansion is restricted. So in that case, temperature stresses are induced. Temperature stresses are induced. Here there is no temperature stresses induced in the sections. Is it clear? Now you may say here, a change in temperature can cause a body to change in dimensions. Generally, if the temperature increases, body will expand. This is the properties of material. Whereas if the temperature decreases, it will contract. Ordinarily, this expression or contraction is linearly related to the temperature increase or decrease that occurs. Here we have seen one example. AB is the bar. We are supplying the heat. Its length is L, and after heating this, the materials expand with this delta. So here delta T means deflections or deformations is equal to alpha into delta T into L. Delta T means change in temperature. Change in initial temperature and final temperature. So we have to calculate here change in temperature, final temperature minus initial temperature. So in that case, temperature stresses are induced. So alpha is equal to property of materials and is also called as linear coefficient of thermal expansion. The unit measures strain per degree of temperature. They are 1 degree per Fahrenheit in FPS system, 1 degree per degree Celsius, or 1 degree per Kelvin in SI system. Typical values are given on the inside back cover. So delta T, we will discuss about that coefficient, linear coefficient of thermal expansion for the different materials. So delta T is equal to algebraic change in temperature of the member or body. L is the original length of the body, and delta T is the algebraic change in the length of the body. The thermal stresses or strain in a simple bar may be calculated as below. Calculate the amount of deformations due to the change of temperature with the assumptions that bar is free to expand or contract. Second, calculate the load required to bring the deformed bar to its original length. Third point is calculate the stress and strain in the bar caused by the load. So in that case, L is equal to original length of the body, T is equal to increase of temperature, alpha is equal to coefficient of linear expansion. So according to that, increase in length due to the increase of temperature, delta L is equal to L into alpha into T. L into alpha into T when the body is free to expand. If the ends of the bar are fixed to rigid support so that its expansion is prevented, then compressive stress is induced in the bar. So in that case, temperature strain is equal to delta L upon L, change in length upon original length. So change in length means L into alpha into T, L into alpha into T divided by L. Here L will be cancelled. So temperature strain is equal to alpha into T. So and according to that and our Hooke's law, stress is equal to strain into modulus of elasticity. So what is the value of strain? Strain is equal to alpha into T, and put here alpha into T. So it becomes alpha T into E. So temperature stress is equal to alpha T E. This is our equation to calculate the temperature stresses induced in the bar. Here in this table, different linear coefficient or expansions for the different materials are given, and in second case, if both the bar will be having different materials, so its modulus of elasticity will be different. So instead of that, here E, we have written here E1 and E2. Okay, thank you.